Hey, what's up? Chris, see you on? I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off so I can not hear myself, but can I go to the comments? I gotta turn it down. Noah, what's up, dude? For some reason I can't see. Let's see, refresh the chat. See if that works. Nope, that just got rid of everything. Well, here we go. It's real fun when your children walk in and out of the room and I just know they're judging me. I can just tell. This episode is still not sponsored by Waterloo. They don't give a shit about this. Today, we are going to talk about, which I hope you read. Don't look at me. Just look away. Just kidding. She's closing her eyes. Sorry if you hear everything in the upstairs. It's getting a little crazy up there. It's time for the girls to go to bed, and they have not. Probably should have put them to bed. I'm going to try to look at the camera more often instead of the screen. Hopefully I can do this a little better than the last time. I feel like we had the technical difficulty issues, and I just felt like I was just kind of going here and going there. But this time, if anybody's interested, my wife called me a dork. We have slides, which is pretty cool. I made those. This is fun. Let's see what I did. It didn't take much. I got all of this from ChatGPT, and I don't know. Just never. This stuff's fun. I like this stuff. Let's see if you can get my face on there. My pretty little face. Maybe we don't need it. I think I took it off actually because I didn't want. Hopefully everybody can. One of the things I need to work on is the main. So if you see me on one of the wrong screens, just say, "Hey, fix that." What, baby? You're getting ice cream now? Tomorrow. Oh, okay. Cool. You going to bed? Love you. You want to say hi? Say hi, everybody. That's us right there.
Hi.
Good night. I love you. Anyway, made some slides. Keep me back on topic. Sorry about the coughing. If you'd like to, Noah, it'd be so awesome if you could just click that link and try to join. That'd be fun. Well, the Abraham cycle. Oh no, guys, I have terrible gas. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but every time I talk to you guys, I just feel like I'm just burping into the microphone. So anytime I do that, I apologize. The Abraham cycle. This is the second time that I've read this. I went through the Old Testament once, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do it again is because you guys, or not you guys, but because I guess it just took so long that I didn't really comprehend a lot of it. Like I did. I got the main gist of things, but I feel like it's better now that we're doing small little slices of it. Like I really do feel like we did last week, which I'll go to the slides. We did what did we do? We did 1 through 11, which is the creation, which was God creating the heavens and the earth, and the fall, which was Adam and Eve eating the apple that the serpent gave them, and then Cain and Abel, which is their children, which listen, I'll probably get this wrong and correct me if I'm wrong, but Cain kills Abel. And then they go through the genealogy and the corruption, and then we have the flood and Noah, and then we have the post-flood humanity and the Tower of Babel, which is where they built that tower to try to reach the heavens, make themselves gods. And God knocked that down and scattered them through the earth with a different language. And that's how we got that. I talked a couple times and oh, look at me switching scenes. I talked to a couple people about it, and those are the stories that it's a little harder for me to get behind when it comes to believing the whole book. But Abraham, on the other hand, that's a different story. Abraham is a weird one, because before we even get started on Abraham, I asked, which I kind of knew this, but it put two and two together. Abraham is the father of three religions. I mean, Judaism and Christianity and Islam. When he has Isaac, and he also has Ishmael with their Egyptian servant, and they both go different separate ways. Isaac goes towards Christianity and Ishmael goes towards Islam, and the Quran focuses more on his story rather than Isaac's story. And but Abraham is in both of those books, and it's just crazy that that's just one of those things where it just makes you think. It makes you think that, hey, maybe there is something here. So yeah, I notice that I get distracted whenever I look at the comments. And I don't even have any comments. I'm just looking to see who's watching. So yeah, that's interesting. Like I said, Abraham, they call him the father of nations. They call him the father of faith, and that's because those three religions branch off of him. And that, I believe, more than, man being created from dust and the woman created from the rib. That's a little tougher for me to get behind. But when you actually talk history, and when you see certain people that are in the Bible, also in other types of religions, just like, the flood's the same way. I don't really know much about it, but I do know that there's a flood story, and I think all religions, that's one of those things. We can actually look that up. We got time. Let's do that real quick. So that is the desktop web, which I don't understand why we would see that. I guess I messed it up. Imagine that. Well, we'll figure that out. Let's go to window capture real quick. Now I don't even know what we're going to look up, honestly. So, fun. There's Grok. Let's see. What did we want to look up? Oh, the flood story. Let's see. How do we look this up? What do we type in? Let's type in... How many religions and stories? Historical stories. Have a flood story like Noah's Ark. Watch it say nothing. And then all the things that I thought forever and ever. Let's see. Many religions and cultures across the world have flood myths or stories that share similarities with the biblical Noah Ark narrative, where a great flood destroys much of the world, often as a divine punishment or a means of renewal, which is a chosen individual or group surviving to repopulate or restart civilization. The Epic of Gilgamesh, that's the big one, right? One of the oldest known flood stories found in Tablet 11, I think, of the Epic of Gilgamesh. The god Ea warns that person of a coming flood, instructing him to build a boat to save his family and animals and possessions, and a bunch of them. It looks like it's going down a list. Chinese mythology includes a story of massive floods tamed by Yu, who controls the waters through engineering rather than a boat. Some versions, like that guy, describes a great deluge links to cosmic imbalance. So Fun stuff. I don't know. It's fun to me. I like that stuff. I like when you can put things together like that. Switching back to the main. There we go. I'm going to figure this out. I already feel like we're doing better than last week, so that's cool. I can't wait to see how next week goes. Let's check out a slide. Let's check these bad boys out. That's not a slide. You know why? Because I did the wrong thing. So this will only take a second. So double click. Keynotes. And there we are. Look at that. Figured it out. Done. Let's go to the keynote. You guys can't see it. Let's see if this does this. Please don't. It did. That sucks. Then I need to move this over here. And I need to move, not that. Let's put that down and move this over here. All right. We did the recap. There's the review, actually. We could have done that. I don't think we did that for... No, this is the review for, Genesis 12 through 25. God calls Abram, promises land and descendants. Abraham and Lot separate. God reaffirms covenant. Abraham rescues Lot. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just talking over these things. 12 through 13, Abram's call and choices. So let's look at that. God calls Abram, promises land and descendants. So, yeah. That was another thing that was pretty cool to... I put a video in the discussion. My goodness, this cough is terrible. I put a video in the discussion about about Abraham's story and about how his father apparently was an idol maker, which that wasn't in the Bible. It was in something else, and it says it in that video. But I thought that was interesting. It was cool to get that aspect because God tells Abram to leave. And actually, I remember now that since I wrote that, I also have this stuff where it basically talks about it all. So this is going to help me a lot because I am forgetting things, of course. So, yeah. He leaves his home and wants him to live a more nomadic life. And so he goes to, I don't know. No, I'm kidding. This is the hard part. So, I guess we'll go to the question. How does Abram's response to God's call demonstrate faith? Which, I remember hearing that question and thought it was ironic because it's really hard to see the faith in anything if God is talking to these people. Does that make sense? Which maybe that means that he isn't talking to them through the traditional sense that I think he is. I don't know if maybe he talks to them in their head. You know, I know that he goes to them in dreams and all that stuff, but to me, when I read this, it sounds like he is actually talking to them. And I just, that's a tough one. So it's weird. It's weird to hear them talk about having faith in God if he's literally right there talking to them about leaving and, he's going to have many descendants and all of that stuff. That's something else. That's the only way I can put that. His deception in Egypt reflect human weakness. He does, yeah. This is one of those things. One part of the story, which I think is 20 or 22. I guess I could look down and see. 22, Genesis 22. The ultimate test where he sacrifices, is asked to sacrifice his son. I finally understood that because, in the story, basically, God has him doing, how do I put this? God wants him to basically have faith in him and basically, have faith in God's plan, and he doesn't because, when he's whisked away or goes away to Egypt, he, tells the Pharaoh that his wife is his sister, which, just shows that he doesn't have any faith in God's plan at the moment. And then he does it again another time. And then finally, after, I guess, figuring his stuff out, I don't know what honestly, it's tough to remember for real. Let's see, dialogues with Abraham, a willingness to negotiate with Abram. In the Sodom and Gomorrah story, right? That's a wild story. See, this is why wish I had somebody to speak with me, because this is the tough part. I need somebody to kind of bounce back and forth on. This is like a training that I'm doing with my mind, trying to talk to nobody right now. I think it's more about obedience. Brian, you're right. I think it is too. I also just think that he just wants to know that, he has complete faith in God and God's plan. He, like I said, he doesn't. And whenever he's with the pharaohs, and I think there's even a part in Sodom and Gomorrah story where he doesn't there as well. Actually, I think that's where maybe he's starting to trust in God's plan, and then God asked him to make the ultimate sacrifice, which I never got until now. I mean, yeah, I would never sacrifice my daughters. That's crazy. But I guess I'm not the chosen person for the rest of, the rest of the world. So good luck finding that person in today's world. The Sodom and what is it? Sodom and what? Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Am I wrong here? Somebody help me out. I can't find it. It's too many words. It's fun whenever the people that are coming on now, whenever I start losing train of thought, that's a blast. Let me speak up here on the mic. You are correct. Thanks, brother. I wish I had more to go off of other than that. Like, I don't want to just end on that stuff. Maybe I need to take my time. Maybe that's my problem. Just chill for a minute and just kind of go over some stuff. Let's look at the slides that I made. That's fun. I mean, yeah, I got it all from ChatGPT, but, and these are all questions that you can ask yourself, and I'll actually put these things on the discussion group. That way everybody can see them. It's also nice that I don't have a camera in my face on the live video. This is actually good, so I can actually rub my eyes and take a minute and a breather, because today has been insane with staying busy. It's always, my wife wanted me to clean the drains out, and that's exactly what I tried to do. And then when I take my shower drain off, it just crumbles apart in my tool, and now I can't get my stopper on. So yay for me. So yeah, this is like the first time I actually got to, well, that's not true. I got to play 45 minutes of Minecraft with the babies, and that's fun. That's my favorite game in the world, Minecraft. I think it's the perfect game. Such a cool game. yeah, we can just go over this stuff for a second if y'all just want to take a look, and let me just recollect my thoughts and maybe just remember what's happening in this huge book of ours. I was saying before we got started with this that oh, my wife's texted me on there. That's what those. Cool. That I like breaking it down from 1 to 11 and having that little story told, and then 12 to 25, which is the Abraham cycle, which I think the next one is the Jacob cycle. We'll have to look that one up. So, yeah, I'm getting a better understanding of the characters. I'm getting a better understanding of their stories, even though at this moment my mind just likes to draw a blank and I can't remember anything. Which I guess it's going to happen. I do. What is it? The main story's up there. I'll check this out while I'm looking through this. You guys can see my beautiful face. My wife made it known that I have always had a East Chargers shirt. Go Chargers. I do want to go over the Sodom and Gomorrah story because that's a big one. So the question that it has on there about it, how does Abraham's intercession for Sodom contrast with Lot's life in the city? And what do these chapters teach about God's justice and mercy? I don't know, honestly. To be completely honest, these are actually hard questions for me to answer. I grokked it, like I said. I mean, I have my own answers and stuff like that, but maybe I should write those out. That way I can remember it, because to be honest, like, let's actually see if I can sit here and remember that story, because I should be able to do that. And maybe if I just take the time and think about it, then maybe I can tell that story. So let's see if I get it right. And if I don't, then I don't, because, and actually that's what this is for. Like, I'm not a historian. Why do I care? Who cares? This is for me, so I can speak to you guys and I can speak to myself and just chat. So Lot is I know what it is. God wants to destroy Sodom and and I guess Gomorrah, right? Am I wrong there? Somebody help me out. And this is one of the cool stories about, this is one of the cool things about the Bible is you can have an argument with God. Abraham doesn't want God to destroy the city if there are good people down there, which, noble. That's a good thing to hear. So he asked God, if there's 40 good people, can you spare the city for them? And he says yes, he'll do that. This is where I think that people think that the Bible is just, especially the Old Testament, is just fire and brimstone, and it's really not the case. There's really a lot of beauty to the story. It's just really hard to dig in there and figure it out. It really takes dumb stuff like this to actually get it, which that's cool. I just wish it was a little easier. Look, I have it on 2 things. Look how dumb I am. I'm just kidding. That's another. Okay, yeah, I remember as well about Ishmael. That's the other thing that I was looking for whenever we were talking about Isaac and being sacrificed. He didn't believe in God's plan. So he, whenever God tells him, that he is going to have, these children, and he's almost 100 years old, he kind of loses faith. So he, gets with Sarah, Actually, they both come up with the plot to have a baby with the Egyptian servant. And it creates a lot of chaos, just like it created a lot of chaos with Pharaoh. I mean, once Pharaoh found out that wasn't his sister and that it was his wife, he got hit with disease and famine, and I guess that's just a part of God's plan. Like, you should, if you're going, if you are a Christian and you're going to believe the Bible, and it's a good story to trust in God's plan. Another awesome story. Another story where you put this man through all of these trials and tribulations, and he just doesn't, he's not perfect just like anybody else, but after a while he puts his faith in God, and even if that means sacrificing his child, which is really funny. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird that that's the one that he tries to. I mean, I guess you have. I mean, for real, like, if he's gonna be the one to, be the heir to, all of these people, all of these descendants, then that, basically go to Jesus Christ, then that's the ultimate test. That is the ultimate test. Like I said, I am not going to do it. I don't think, even if he came down and asked me to do that, what would I mean, for real, like, I don't even know if that's, and it might upset people, but I don't even think that that's a God that I would like to believe in. It's tough. It's tough. But I'm sure, maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's right. Maybe I still don't understand it. Maybe I'm not going to understand it until I read it for the 17th time, which I don't think I will. I don't know. I still haven't finished the New Testament. I finished. Let's see. So we started. It is good that we're going, through just a few chapters at a time, because I can also get my other reading done. I definitely want to I definitely want to finish the New Testament. That's still my little project. The Old Testament is a project for you guys, which, as I see right now, I think only just 4 people are watching. So those 4 people, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. But yeah, the Old Testament. This is for you, and I know that I'm gonna have a blast doing this. But it's nice that I'm still being able to take the time to finish the New Testament and Jesus and his Ghostbusters, and which, it's funny that, I don't know, I think it's hilarious that they're just out casting out demons. It just reminds me of the Ghostbusters, and I think it's funny. And then I'm also finishing my psychology book. I'm almost done with that. Still, I guess I'm a chapter and a half away. I'm learning about all the last 2 chapters is about, mental disorders like OCD and schizophrenia and, bipolar and all of those issues and how they're treated. And the last one is about the therapy, how to, how to give those people therapy, how to give anybody therapy, which I am excited about. I'm so glad to almost be done. That's like 2,500 pages. I think I'm getting fatigued when it comes to that book especially. It'll be nice to be able to go back and check those out, but I'll get to focus back on this. Explain the second question a bit. Which second question is that? I think back then it was more common because, like the Bible says, that God is speaking directly to them, which I believe far less often nowadays. Ooh, okay, let me finish this again so I can actually really. I think back then it was more common because, like the Bible says, that God is speaking directly to them, which I believe far less often nowadays for sure. But does he not speak audibly to people now because we are further away from God? Yeah, I don't know. I always thought that we were going to. I thought I was going to get that answer in the Bible, which I haven't yet. Maybe I get it later on in the New Testament, but I thought there was a point where it talks about how we don't hear his voice anymore, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But I think God asking Abram to sacrifice his own son is a test of who is loved. Sorry, brother. Who is loved? I guess loved more. Who is love's move? I think that might be an autocorrect. God, the one who gave him a son, or the son that he was blessed with. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If he loves the God who, gave him a son, or the God that he was blessed with. Yeah, I could see that too. I mean, really, it's the ultimate test to see if you're going to, if you actually believe in God's plan. And if God's plan is to kill your only son, then you have to do it. Ugh. And then I guess you just sit with that for a minute. And you kind of think about it. Like, I guess you don't really get to, like when I'm talking to you guys about it, it's different. Because you don't actually, like, it's like having a conversation. And I remember having some conversations with a couple clients about it. I'm a hairstylist, if anybody doesn't know. You need a haircut, let me know. You need some color, let me know. I could use that money. We got a lot of money that needs to be spent on Disney for Madeline's cheer. And then we have Christmas, and then we got a car to pay for, and then we got and then we got to sell a camper, and but yeah, I guess you just kind of sit and, how do you get behind that? If anybody has an answer, how do you get behind a God that tells you to kill your child and then you don't? It's almost like Loki from, Norse mythology. It's almost, what a trick to play on somebody. Imagine how his son felt whenever, like, the angst of a teenager, and you take him off of the altar, and you're like, I'm just joking, son. We'll get this ram instead. I wasn't going to do it, I promise. I can't imagine the relationship that they would have. That'd be tough. That'd be tough for me to get behind. I'm over here thinking about how I'd feel as a father, but think about how you'd feel as a son. Yeah, so yeah, Brian, I don't know. I hope that I can find that answer. I wish I had the second question for you. There's a bunch of questions. We can go through them. And Brian, if you have a second to answer them, that's cool, because honestly, I'd love to hear your answers. And for real, I put these things, which this is a good time to talk about that. I put these things in the discussion group. I have the questions on there. I didn't get to go through all of them. I'm not trying to bombard that thing with discussion group questions. But I guess it is a discussion group, so I should ask those questions. But please answer them. If you answer them, I'll for sure read them, and even read them on this thing, which honestly would just give me more content whenever I don't have anything to say. So I feel like I'm doing okay now. I feel like I'm starting to get into a groove. It's cool because once you start talking, there's almost like there's a rhythm, and you just kind of just lose everything. I don't remember anything that I just said, but we're flowing. It's a flow. So that's cool. Let's see if we have to go down. I really wish I wouldn't have. Nope. Well, it's this has been fun. I have got to talk to a few people about the Bible that they're not watching now, which is totally fine. I think looks like it's just me. So yeah, this has been fun. Maybe later on people will watch this whenever they're downloaded and put on the page. It doesn't have to be anything. I don't care about the numbers. I guess I care about that, you guys know that I'm doing it, and whenever you sit in my chair, you have questions for me about those things, and that's cool because I like to talk about this, and I would rather talk about this to people face to face. So yeah, you know that I'm doing it here. You ask about it, and if you ever want to talk about anything, this is why I'm here. I don't really want to do this this isn't I'm not trying to thump Bibles or anything like that. This is just the first book that I wanted to read. It is the sole foundation of my father's beliefs, and I wanted to actually give it a fair chance. Because, I only know what he told me, and never actually read the words for myself. So now I'm taking the time to do so. And we're going to take a quick intermission break so this person can come down the stairs and go through, because I'll be damned if I'm talking while she is coming down. Come on, you want to talk on it with me? No, she doesn't at all. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why I want to do it, to be honest. Good night. Love you. Oh, well, I may. So yeah, it's been fun. This is for me to open up a little. I think it's good therapy. I think, stop, don't look, get away. I'm kidding. It's good therapy to talk this stuff out. I want to, open up a little bit more to everybody. I think it's important. I think that we all need to communicate with each other more often. And I think that one way to do that is through this. And hopefully I don't know what this will grow into. I hope it grows into something more. I hope it evolves from where we're at right now. This is only the second, I guess it's really the second show. I don't like calling it that because I feel like that sounds pretentious. So yeah, it's only the second show, and I definitely think I did better than last time. I turned the display off on my camera so the battery doesn't die on me. So that's one thing. Maybe later this will turn more into like more of like a podcast thing where, everybody can still interact and chat away, but, and we still talk about books, and we talk about the things that are happening in the world that, those books maybe have influenced. And I keep getting these things. I wonder if like the chat bot needs to come down here maybe. Oh, you were talking. There it is. That mic is a show. Thanks, brother. It's $40 on Amazon. That mic is a show. Yeah. Didn't cost much. I like it. It's fun. Well, I think that's it. How long have we been going? Let's see. Now I understand. 48 minutes and 51 seconds. I guess it is. We didn't talk about Tylenol. That's good. So Seems like everybody is getting a little upset about that these days. This is the week that this is the thing of the week to keep us thinking about something else other than what's really going on. I had a blast with you guys. Let's see, what do we need to figure out what we're going to watch. So let's do that. Let's go to, we'll grok it up. No, I don't want to use that. I think it's the Jacob story that we'll read. So let's see. So after, I'm writing this down. After 12 through 25 of Genesis, now what should I read? It's funny. I swear to myself and I swear to my friends that AI will not take over how I learn things. I feel like the same way we forgot phone numbers because now we have it all saved in our phones, that we're not going to be able to cognitively function with just asking AI to do everything for us. Let's see what it says. Can we go to the desktop thing? Does it do it? Click it. Oh, there it is. And then it doesn't do the thing that I want. I guess you can't have two. I guess that's why. So let me go to it real quick and we'll figure that out. Google Chrome. There it is. Done. I mean, at least I got this kind of figured out. This is kind of cool that come on, I'm 40 years old. Technology is getting a little tough for me now that I'm turning 40, which is really stupid. I never thought that would happen, but lo and behold, here I am not being able to figure out things, but I figured this out, so that's cool. You guys try to figure that stuff out. What am I talking about? I'm doing great. The most natural progression is to keep reading Genesis 26 through 50. No, that ain't what it wanted us to do. We had another thing. Let me get on my phone real quick and see what it said, because it gave me one, so it's not on that. I have a bunch of different groks because I cheat. Because you only get a couple questions, and I'm not going to pay for I don't have that money to be paying for grok. So, no thank you. So, I guess it doesn't have it on that. Abraham's covenant and legacy. Please bear with me. I know I'm taking a minute, which is fine. No big deal. Let me go to this then. We did that one. Here it is. Okay. Why Genesis? Oh, there it is. I got it, guys. 26 through 36. God is great. Jay, I agree with you. Now we have to figure out what that is. That's what I have to figure out. That's what I've been figuring out since childhood. Why Genesis 26:36? Narrative arc. Genesis 26:36 focuses on Isaac's brief narrative and the more extensive story of Jacob, including his rivalry with Esau, his marriages, his 12 sons, and his Esau, I remember, and his transformations into the patriarch of the 12 tribes. This section, often called the Jacob cycle, forms a natural unit that builds on the Abraham narrative and sets up this Joseph story. So, yeah, we'll read 26 through 36, which is only 10 chapters. So, that gives people a little bit of chance to catch up. Huh? Oh, okay. Well, what's that for? Nice. Enjoy it. So, yeah. We'll do that. Jacob cycle. 26 through 36. Abraham's cool. He, the father of all nations, the father of all faith. He's the dude. He's the guy that Judaism and Christianity and Islam is all based off of. So why can't we all just get the hell along? Because there's a common ground right there. Look at us finding common grounds. Yeah. So sit with that for a minute. Why do we have to hate these people? Why do they have to hate us? They probably don't, honestly. They're probably sitting here thinking the exact same thing that we are. They're like, it's probably just the government that's just chirping in our ears about how bad we are and how bad they are, and none of the people think that. So why do we hate it? So now, common ground right there, people. Abraham, father of Islam, father of Christianity, father of Judaism. Now we gotta, he's not the father of Buddha. We gotta go figure that out over there. So maybe one day, maybe we can figure it out. Maybe second go around of all this stuff is going to give me a better understanding of what's going on, and hopefully you guys get just a tad bit out of it. Like, it's kind of, I don't feel like any of this is watchable at all. So if you guys do, that's great. Hopefully, we can build a following. Hopefully we can, have a safe place to discuss things without yelling and arguing. Maybe it's a nice little, even if you just drop in and drop out just to see how I'm doing and say hello in the comments. And I appreciate, Jay, thank you for commenting. Brian, thank you so much for joining in for, however long you joined in for. Noah, thank you so much for letting me know that the chat box is not working. Why does that thing not work? I want to know. I have to figure it out. Maybe I'll figure it out next week. Until then, though, I just don't even want to stop. Until then, 26 through 36. Read it. It's about Jacob. Hopefully we find some cool stuff about Jacob that we can look for. I found that stuff about Abraham because I asked Grok, give me some mind-blowing facts about Abraham, and that was the first thing that popped up, which I kind of knew that. I guess it just popped in my head, about Isaac and Ishmael just spreading off. What a cool story. How cool is that? All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully the person that sees this, 1,000 years from now, and they just turned on a computer and I'm the only thing that's there, which maybe tell those guys I'm sorry for how it turned out, because the way things are going, I ain't interested. All right, guys. See you next Thursday. Join the discussion page. Join the Facebook page. And I think that's it. To all the people that I've invited and you guys hated that invite, I apologize, but gotta get the name out somehow. These damn algorithms. I'm sure people just don't care. Just kidding. All right, guys. Peace. See y'all next Thursday, 9 o'clock. Try to do this every Thursday at 9 o'clock. We have not stopped yet. We're down. All right, going. I am pushing the end stream button. I don't want to. This is fun. I really like doing this. Actually can't wait to do it all the time. Like, some days I'm like, some days I'm like, I don't want to do this at all. And then other days because I'm insanely nervous and insanely scared to do this. And then other times I'm like, I can't wait to do it. Like, who cares? This is fun. Could be a bunch of wusses, guys. Join in. Peace. That's all I'm going to say. No, I'm not. All right.